wanted to get to know a little bit about you and your experience with drama in the early years. Obviously, we understand as drama specialists that drama is something that we can find quite easy and, you know, easy to incorporate within our lessons, but we understand that from the perspective of other teaching practitioners, it's not always something that springs to mind. So really, it was just about addressing the barriers to drama and also looking at solutions for them. So if I could please ask you to, on this piece of paper, just on the left-hand side, if you could get one for it, that would be brilliant. On the left-hand side, I'd like you to just, you can talk together, think about the things within drama that are barriers within the early years classroom. So what makes it difficult to perform drama or to get the children to use drama in the early years setting?
When you mean drama, you don't mean necessarily role play stories. That's how I got my young ones. I'm nursery, so that's what the young ones would do, as well as drama.
So if there's anything within there that you find it's difficult to overcome, maybe could it be with the the time with the children or everything like that. So on the left-hand side, if you just speak together and have a few ideas going on.
Okay, so let's do it together.
Time then.
Time. Just remind me the question.
The barriers to drama.
Why we don't do drama? We do role play.
Yes, and that's sort of instinctively what you look in that corner and you just think we are doing drama informally.
Yes.
You want something perhaps a little bit more formal. So barriers. So sorry, Jane. Time is one of them.
Time.
Yeah. It's working out how to do it. So if we're sort of having a story, if it's a Bible story, if it's something like that, you will try and incorporate, like a Palm Sunday type thing, children acting out the story and just making sure that you've got a big crowd on either side. So because you want to make sure that they're all included in this form
right.
That's at the front.
So it's inclusive.
So it's making sure it's inclusive. Right. It's not, you're not just choosing a few children.
Okay.
That's a really good point. Right, and
because it's always the children who are the most talkative and forthright that would be included.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas in formal role play, most children get involved in that in some way.
Yeah. Okay.
And so also when the teacher isn't involved, if you can manage to watch from the sidelines, then those children will take part with their own peers. Maybe a teacher comes in, they get shy and withdrawn, some of them, and self-conscious and they won't involve, so sometimes you need to withdraw as a teacher, let them go on it, so that's a barrier.
So we need to withdraw as a teacher?
Well, it's meaning that some children won't take part if teacher is involved. And also it's our own knowledge of sort of drama games that are suitable for early years.
Yeah, we need some more resources.
Yeah, and different types.
So if we just not knowing, isn't it?
It's our knowledge base that's limited. Because we are not drama specialists, are we, Fiona?
Certainly not. And I think just going back to the informal drama and the role play, you have to actually work at some children wanting to do that. I've got a boy in my class who would never ever go in that area, and that was our focus because we've got children who are naturally doing the drama in and they're dressing up and they're acting out, but this boy just never chose it, so it had to be a really conscious effort. And I think he was scared. He didn't know what to do. He didn't really have this empathy. He couldn't really, hadn't got that many experiences.
Right.
So a limit of experiences can be a problem as well. And we really had to, once he was shown and he could model, you know we're talking about, don't we, here? Once he was shown he could model, you could model with him what he had to do, he would then act out the same role play. So he'd have to go in then, but it would be the same sort of role play, there wouldn't be much variation in it.
Okay.
But now he's doing a lot more. I've actually seen singing and dancing in there. So it's really moved on, but it's actually, I just think that they're almost, we're a bit scared of doing it because of this lack of resources and not quite knowing what to do with younger children, because we know what to do informally. On the formal basis, it's handing harder.
Okay.
So so perhaps sort of there are some children who are shy, self-conscious, and it's trying to get them involved, isn't it? Or choosing, they're just choosing not to do it, informal role play.
Okay. So then if you were to think about everything that you've written on that side of the barriers, if you were to then think about ways of solving the problems, are there any suggestions immediately just by writing it down that you can see that you could maybe improve or work on together?
Yeah. I think it's what we said. I think it's just this one, isn't it? It's moving over, and for us perhaps to have, well, really, to get together and talk about maybe some opportunities that could be involved. And it is always time.
Time's always an issue.
So we've got for us making time. We've got to make the time. So probably just the opposite of this, really, isn't it? Really making the time and having some sort of resource pack available ready for us.
Right.
Make them inclusive, you know, go into smaller groups if you've got TAs. I mean, I always have a TA, but Fiona doesn't always have a TA, so that's not always possible. So it is staffing. You've got more staff, you can do more things in smaller groups. When you've got a full class of 30 and there's only, say, Fiona in there, that's really hard.
I think as well, because you've got children of all different abilities, that if you're trying to involve the class, you've got to work out how you're going to do it. You've got some children who, sit on the carpet, bump, everything's going, they're not really with it. So you've got some children who really don't know what's going on. You've got some children who are incredibly involved, and so it's probably a barrier, isn't it, really? It's just sort of that there are children at all different stages, and you're trying to involve them as a class in something that could be.
It's not always. I've tried getting some of the children who are very expressive with some of the children who aren't and who are shy, but it doesn't always work that. So you can't always get them to model for them.
But it's important that you've recognised those needs as well, because recognising it is the first step to being able to do something, isn't it? Right, okay then. So it's interesting that you said about a few barriers. What I'd like to do now is just to rip it in half and throw the barriers away, so we've just got the solutions to the problem.
Perhaps I should have written more. Over there.
We've talked a lot about the ideas to come around it, so that's really good. So what we'd like to do now, and I realised you said something about empathy because the children haven't had a lot of experiences. So that was actually the main focus of our session today. So we recognise in the early years that children don't have the experience to be able to empathise with the children. It's not their own fault, it's just their age and their experiences in life. So we've chose the model of Humpty Dumpty. It seems a bit of a strange one. First of all, it's a great context for the children. The children know the stories, as for yourselves as teachers as well, you know the story, so it will improve your confidence. And it was really just looking at why is he sat on the wall, because it's an area of Humpty Dumpty that not a lot of people think about. It's a great way we found to introduce empathy with children and get them thinking about it. So I believe Rachel's now going to tell you about an activity that you could start with.
Okay, so the first thing we said was the drama method of hot seating and teacher and role, which I presume you're familiar with. You know what it is, it's pretty explanatory. So hot seating is where somebody sits in the front of the class and then the rest of the class asks them questions and they're in role. So we've said that teacher and role, so the teacher could be Humpty Dumpty in this circumstance, and the teacher would be at the front of the class and then the children would ask them questions. And we decided to do this linked in with empathy because it's not many children know why Humpty Dumpty is actually sitting on the wall. And so the teacher and role should say like he's upset because no one will sit with him, he's different than the rest of the children, like he's an egg and he looks different to everybody else and no one will play with him. So things like that, and it starts to get the children thinking why he's on his own, he's on the wall, thinking about empathy and things like that. And then it allows children to identify with the character's feelings, which obviously links in with empathy, and just getting children at this age to kind of think about the feelings that other people think, because sometimes it's quite hard for the children to understand how other children are feeling, and that's why, like even just in day-to-day things. So we thought that teacher and role was a really good thing to do, and also just asking the questions to the teacher would help them, and then it goes on to flipping it onto the other side of the learning.
So activity 2, this is what we thought.
It kind of links in these two activities.
Touching on that, if you weren't confident enough to take on the role of Humpty, you could change that to having Humpty, and you saying Humpty doesn't decide, or you could physically take on the persona of Humpty and saying, I'm not, it depends how confident you are to begin with, you could do it that way and then progress. So it's about your self-confidence.
So the second activity is, like we said, linking in with the first activity, but it kind of flips it round, so the children are in charge and the children are leading the drama. So if we do teacher and role again, say the teacher's playing the character of a child saying, I don't want to play with Humpty, why should I play with him, he looks different. The children then have the opportunity to ask the adult the question, say, well, why don't you want to play with him? Just because he's, hopefully the children will come up with these questions, and then they'd have to really improvise going on what the teacher in role would say. So do we want to kind of have a little, do you want an example of what that could be?
We could do it. If you're more comfortable, we could sit on the floor and read each other.
So if I was the child,
Yeah, well,
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
okay, so at the moment I'm the teacher. I could get something like a hat or something to make sure the children know that when I have the hat on, I'm in role, and when I take it off, I'm the teacher again. Okay, so I've put the hat on. What's the matter?
why are you looking so sad?
Because I don't want to play with Humpty Dumpty, and I've just got told off because I said I didn't want to be his friend.
Why do you want to play with me then?
Why would I want to play with an egg?
That's not very nice. Why have you said that?
Well, he's different, and I'm the same as everybody else.
But we're not all the same, are we?
How would you feel if someone said that about you and didn't want to play with you?
I'd be sad.
How do you think Humpty's feeling?
Maybe sad.
So what can you do to make it better?
Well, maybe I could let him play sometimes.
But then would you have to decide if you couldn't play all the time? Yeah.
And then so just kind of things like that, and you feed back off each other as well, and it gets the children to really think about empathy as well, and think about just because he's different doesn't mean that he can't be
It
involved
would
with everybody else.
it would also help in that real life situations if they see like in the playground somebody sitting on their own, then it might encourage them to either go up to the children and go and play with that child or anything like that, which is always good.
So that kind of brings in, like I said, teaching role and also improvisation as well, because although it doesn't really look like the children are doing drama, it's still drama because they're talking about a situation, a made-up situation really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So the final one that we decided is kind of a progression. So you've gone through teaching role, then the children. So the next one that we decided could be active. The children will be actively involved in drama. So you can do something called freeze frames. So you might want to say, should we do a situation? So you might have like a group of children, you might put them into small groups, you could do it as a whole class, but usually for behaviour management it's easier if they're smaller groups. So the situation that we thought of was, and I'm sure you've heard it many a times, it's a 4-player game, so you can't play. So you could say, Humpty's gone up to a child, he said, can I play your game? And the children said, no, it's a 3-player game, you can't play. So then you could make the children discuss which character they want to be. You could have somebody as Humpty, and then, so say we've got into, should we just do it?
Yeah.
Should we show the example?
Yeah.
So Alana, you can be Humpty,
Okay.
and he's approached 2 children and asked if he could play, so that's what Alana will now do.
Can I come and play?
No, it's a 3-player game, you're 4. And then you could say freeze, and then you can go round, and it's called thought tracking. So you could say, which character are you and how are you feeling? So what would you then say, Danielle?
I just don't really want him to play with us.
So then you move round, what character are you and what are you feeling?
I just don't really like her, so I don't want her to play with her.
And then what character are you and what are you feeling?
And I'm Humpty Dumpty, and I'm really sad that they won't let me join in the game.
So here, the children are being able to view and understand how other children are feeling. And we said that it'd be really good to use either a situation that's happened in the playground or a situation that's happened in class because usually it has happened to the children. They can, you know, revert back to it, but if they're of shy nature and they might say, no, that's never happened to me, they can actually use their emotions and express their emotions without having to say that they are the victim. So it's kind of acting through the pretend self, so it's more comfortable for those children. So you might say, if you've had like a sharing issue, you might say Humpty Dumpty's gone over to the table and asked to use the crayons and they've said no. And then you can change it around, so you can have as many situations for that as you want to, and it gets the children to feel involved then. So they were kind of the ideas that we thought, just if you're not very comfortable, it kind of builds you up, builds your confidence
And
up.
although we've lived them Humpty Dumpty.
Oh yeah, absolutely anything. Yeah, I mean, Frozen is my favourite, isn't it? It is. Yeah.
I mean, that has really, I mean, drama's been a real thing because of Frozen.
Yeah.
Just constantly reenacting it.
Yeah.
And that's because there's a context that the children are
Of course
familiar
it is,
with.
they're very familiar with,
Yes.
they know all the words and
Yeah.
everything, even the accents.
So yeah, we've
The,
got that cross curricular now.
Got
haven't
some
we?
links here with the cross curricular, I'll give you some copies as well. That's just what we did today. Just for your own reference in the future. There you go. So there was just a few websites and really useful books. There's a really good one called the Toy Makers Workshop, and that's brilliant because it really focuses on the areas of early years development. So, you know, we've done emotional development today, but it really gives you a good breakdown, and the activities are so easy, and the children don't really feel uncomfortable doing them in our own experience because they're quite simple and they're really enjoyable. And we've also got cross-curricular links within that as well. So just briefly touching on the areas, obviously you can read through it yourself. You know, the areas of communication and language, it's these types of lessons focusing on Humpty Dumpty are great because you can have loads of whole class discussions on feelings and, you know, acting out the story. I know a lot of children aren't comfortable with that, but there's ways around it. There's so many ways that you can tailor your ideas to the other children, even, you know, with mathematics, shapes, using shapes to create the wall. We were talking earlier, weren't we, about how even the wall would be a great hook for the children. It would really get them engaged. So children who might not just do drama willy-nilly, that if they see the wall, then they might like to get engaged in it that way. Talking, obviously it's just been Easter, so it would have been a brilliant time to do it then. Yeah, and I mean, there's loads of activities there, so you can, you know, feel free to have a look through them and keep them.
There is a nice story called Little Humpty. It's really
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when he goes on the wall and his mum's told him he shouldn't. So
That would be a great link as well, wouldn't it? Yeah. So, any questions? Anything about drama?
Yeah. I think it just made me think that I maybe need to do a little bit more. So obviously you always have the issues at playtime at Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's quite a nice way of dealing with it.
Do you see drama as an important subject in the early years? It's quite forgotten about, isn't it?
I think for us it is, but I think ours is much more informal. Generally.
Yeah, completely.
That's
And
what
sometimes
it
it's
is.
better,
Circle
isn't it?
time, do circle time a lot, so I use that.
We've
We've
had
talked
fairy
about
tales.
that.
Yeah, we did a fairy tales topic just after Christmas. So we did the 15 dancing princes and princesses over there. We retold the story, and then we had when we have all the clothes out, don't we? We have all the clothes out and
props.
small groups. You know, they really take on the part.
Yeah.
They've got that Snow White dress on, and they are Snow White. You've got your knight armour, and they are a shining knight.
Yeah.
So that was brilliant. That was a really good way, I think. And since then we've got the stations. There's lots of drama going on, but you find that you have to talk about it because we're doing transport and the station. I'm trying to talk a lot about it because obviously some of them have experienced stations and trains, some haven't. And it's making sure for me, I suppose, I've got the time to talk about it. So when acting their characters in the role play corner, they know sort of a little bit of what they should be doing, or so that it doesn't end up just with them getting a bit giddy.
Yeah.
You want it to be sort of good quality drama.
So it does need to be more guided, you'd say.
Definitely, definitely, and that's where if you
It
have
is to
a
get the
TA
quality.
as well to start off with, to get them who can help them, and a small group situation, that's brilliant. You can talk about it, but when you're actually in there, you need somebody just to start things up.
Yeah. It knows when, and if they are playing it and doing role play, it's know when to intervene and sort of develop that thread where they're going and help them to move on really with their thoughts and feelings. But that's then having the time to do that. That's where time always does.
Yeah, and have done the hot seating, but I haven't for a while. And that's quite a nice introduction to go back and do that. So that's really made me think, and even like the hat on the head. So they know that you're enrolled, otherwise it's a bit confusing for us. That's such a nice idea, so I'll definitely take that step on board. So thank you very much. Thank you really well, thanks girls. That's in the folder.